Hi there, and welcome to the March Sage Goddess New Moon Ritual, honoring a beautiful new moon tonight in Pisces, which of course is a dreamy, emotional, tender, sensitive, gentle placement for the moon. And I'm feeling it. I don't know if you are. I've been feeling a little softer today. I've been allowing myself to have little flights of imagination. You know, Pisces is the daydreamer of the zodiac. And so if you're feeling called to daydream, if you're feeling called to be a little floaty, a little flighty, you know, instead of sort of forcing yourself to snap back into present time or present awareness, maybe indulge some of those daydreams. I'm finding that under this Pisces new moon, there's wisdom there. When you let your vision soften, when you let your mind sort of drift into the places it wants to go, it's leading you somewhere. And I think there's wisdom there. There might be answers to questions there. And of course, at the new moon, we're setting intentions. And so tonight, and we're doing ceremony with wolf medicine this month, which I hope you're excited about. To me, wolf is grandfather medicine, although some people look at wolf as brother medicine. We're going to talk a little bit about the different archetypes that you might want to associate with wolf medicine. But wolf is very much associated with protection, security, comfort, the meeting of your basic needs. And so one of the intentions you can set under this beautiful Pisces new moon is to have your needs met. Tonight is about the medicine that you deserve to have your needs met. You deserve to have your basic needs, your protection, your safety, and your comfort. Those are things that should be available to you. And so tonight, a beautiful intention for you to set. And of course, you can always set any intention you want. This is your new moon, right? This is think of it as your wish list to the universe is every new moon. And so it's this pocket of dark night sky that gives us a blank slate to write a new vision, a new dream, a new intention. And so whatever it is you want to call in the next lunar cycle, I tend to set intentions month to month. So right now we're thinking about setting intentions from this early part of March into the early part of April, recognizing, by the way, as I smudge for you, recognizing, by the way, that we're going to be turning the great wheel of time toward the spring season here in the Northern Hemisphere in just a couple of weeks. And so one of your intentions too could be around your growth. You know, what kind of growth do you want to manifest or experience in the next few weeks as nature comes to life? It's cold where all of us are right now. I don't think anybody's, enjoying normal temperatures. And so we're all a little frostbitten wherever we are, especially here in the US. And so, what do you want to thaw out? What do you want to rejuvenate? Renew, restore in your life? What do you want to breathe life into? I think is a really beautiful question to guide the next 4 weeks for you. What in your life feels cold or stale? What in your life feels like it just needs a breath of life? Because that's what these next coming weeks are all about. They are the breath of life. They are the return of your life force to you. So what will you do with that breath of life and that burst of inspiration and beauty? I was out in my garden this morning and my apple tree, I only have one apple tree, but it's an old apple tree and it's got the most beautiful apple blossoms on it this morning. And so even in the midst of the cold, that's the medicine of the new moon, right? Like even in the midst of the darkest night sky where you don't have any moonlight to guide you, there's still a light within. You have your own source of illumination. And that to me is what those early flowers in my garden represent. It's like even though we're in the middle of winter, life prevails. Life is pushing forward. Life continues. Had a little bit of an overzealous sage bundle today. So maybe we had some energies that needed to be cleared. That's what they say, when your sage bundle doesn't go out easily, it's because it has extra work to do. So that's interesting. Okay. So for today's ceremony, which I really hope you enjoy, it's still lit. I can see it. Hold on. For today's ceremony, we are using our Praises of the Moon candle, because what does wolf do? Howls, right, at the moon. And so we sing tonight. You don't have to sing with your voice, but you can sing with your spirit tonight in praise of all of the blessings of the moon as we set our intentions this evening for what we want to experience in the cycle ahead. We're working with Guardian of the Night perfume, which I think you're going to fall in love with in just a minute when I describe the process to you and also the purpose of this one. It's one of my new favorites. You have your intuition incense, and so we're going to burn a little bit of our incense too. That is bay, white sage, mugwort, rosemary, eyebright, star anise, and a little blue lotus just to soften you up. And so I'm going to light my charcoal so that I can sprinkle a little bit of that intuition incense over it. And as we do all of these ritual preparations, so good to be with you, by the way, just take a moment, call yourself into present time, enjoy the process. I love ceremony. I find ceremony so healing. And it's not just about the actual raising of the energy. It's the process of setting up the tools and unpackaging, your incense, or your, arranging your candle and determining the best placement for it. And just, setting everything up in your altar and then smudging, take a moment to really receive that smudge, the blessing of it, the purification of it, the clearing of it, right? Sometimes I find that even me, I'll be going through the steps and I'll be thinking about the steps, but I'm not really giving thanks for each one of the steps. Giving thanks to the plant, giving thanks to that white sage for making itself available and for teaching us how to be in good relationship with it as a plant teacher. It's like a really beautiful reminder. And for me, sometimes the new moon is about going back to basics. It's like, again, clearing the slate and remembering the original intention, the original purpose of the workings that you are doing. So just a little bit of that beautiful intuition incense. I hope you enjoyed that one. The incense is all handmade here at Sage Goddess, so it's a special one to me. Okay, and then our two stones for tonight are golden labradorite, which I love. Some people think it's citrine, but it's not. It is a member of the feldspar family. And then Picasso jasper, which is this beautiful stone, one of my favorites too. Oh, here comes that beautiful incense. And again, just take a moment to receive. Thank you to the plant spirits that yielded all of the ingredients for that beautiful incense. Thank you to Sweet Mother Gaia for yielding these beautiful gemstones. So your golden labradorite is about empowering you tonight. We're going back to basic needs, basic desires in your life, and we're empowering you to claim what you need using wolf medicine tonight. And then your Picasso jasper is transformation. There's a little bit of death rebirth energy associated with Picasso jasper in the sense that it initiates a cycle. It sort of pushes you forward, and that's why I love it for the growth season. It's a good stone for the shadow season too because of all that death, transformation, rebirth energy. But it pushes you. There's a little bit of momentum with Picasso jasper. And so I always look at Picasso jasper and think about how much it looks like life. If each one of those lines is energy, isn't that kind of life? It's like in and out and up and down and all around, and then there's all these different shades and tones. It's like, to me, it's a little bit, it shows the chaos of life, the beautiful chaos of life, that there's always all of these energies at work. And so it helps me get out of my head a little bit because it helps me to remember I'm part of this broader matrix. I'm one pinpoint in it, but I'm not the whole thing. And so I can surrender knowing that my problems are smaller than they sometimes seem to be. And then the other stone in your set, although I really gave it to you as a tool and I'm going to use it to open circle today, is your selenite wand. This is what I use to open circle before ceremony every time, as you have seen. I got incense in my hair. That's how you know it's really good. It's purifying, cleansing my hair. But this is, so this is what I use to open circle. And it is just a pure, beautiful ray of white light. Brings peace. It clears your tools and your space, but does not need to be cleared, which is really nice. I always tell you this story, but the ancient Greeks named selenite after the moon goddess Selene, because selenite has that beautiful light play across the face of it, and they thought the moon goddess was trapped in there. I love how the ancestors named things, and here we are today still working with those names. Okay. So, wolf medicine tonight, just briefly before we move into our meditation, I want to share some of my thoughts on this. And again, enjoy these energies of this Pisces new moon. I think it's such a sweet, beautiful new moon. It's tender and it just wants to wrap you up in its embrace and surrender into that a little bit. And especially for me, it's always a challenge because I have very little water in my chart. And so it's like when I have these watery new moons, it always feels a little uncomfortable because it's the unknown mixed with the deeper feelings and trying to work through all of that without a lot of that grounding in my chart. And so, but I welcome them now, especially later years in my practice, because I see them as opportunities to really reconnect with my emotions and to kind of let them come to the foreground so that I can work through them and dialogue with them and ultimately heal them. Okay. So the wolf is one who sings to the moon, like we said. Wolf represents courage and strength. Wolf also represents accuracy and acumen in hunting, going after what it desires, right? And there's a primal energy to wolf medicine that I think I really have started to identify with, and you probably do too, in the sense that it honors its own instincts. The wolf isn't second guessing itself. Wolf knows exactly where to go, and it's always listening and smelling, and it's engaging its other senses. And so think of wolf as the night guardian, which is why we called your perfume guardian of the night. It would be good to anoint with that now. That's cedarwood, which is all safety, meeting of your basic needs. And then juniper, which is grandfather medicine. Again, security, think root chakra. I swear to you, I've been using it ever since we made it, and it's one of my favorites because it blends really beautifully with patchouli. There's no patchouli in it, but I always have patchouli on, and so this one is like a seamless addition to the library. And then jasmine, which is unconditional love. What this perfume should make you feel like is the embrace of a grandfather. A strong and masculine presence that tells you everything is okay, you have nothing to fear, right? But then the unconditional love as well, which is why I say grandfather as opposed to father, because we associate the grandparents with more of the unconditional love, the unending love. And to me, a little bit of like the love that runs through the lineage is also what this perfume is meant to represent to you. It's supposed to be a big embrace. This is a hug in essential oil form, if I've ever experienced one. If you want to know what Athena thinks a scent hug should feel like or smell like, it's exactly what you're experiencing with Night Guardian. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about as we head into the meditation is there are different archetypes that we can associate, human archetypes, with the archetype of wolf. So sometimes the animal spirits are a little hard for people to track or understand. So sometimes it's better to think of these energies, or maybe not better, but good to also think about these energies in a human context. And so the first archetype that you might think about or align with wolf energy, and certainly with the stones and the oils that we're working with tonight and the herbs, is the grandfather archetype. And so as we go into our meditation tonight, again, which is all about wolf medicine, engaging your intuition in service of trusting the night, in service of trusting that you are safe, especially under this Pisces new moon, because Pisces is concerned with, am I safe, am I secure? Are my feelings safe, and are my feelings secure? And so tonight's meditation, I hope, is going to reconnect you with such a strong, abiding sense of comfort and connection and safety, that you will, from this night forward, from this new moon forward, you will move through the rest of the year surrendering a lot of the fear that holds you back. That's really my intention for tonight. I would love to see you, if you can, release under this new moon, this Pisces new moon, a fear that's been limiting you. What if? And instead of indulging that tonight, I'm not asking you to surface that fear and focus on it, but I'm asking you to sort of like call your attention to it for a moment and see if it's willing to be released. You can dialogue with fear and say, okay, I've been feeling you, I've been sensing you. I think I understand some of the medicine that you're bringing, but this is also a limiting energy, and so I'm wondering, have I received what I need to know from this fear so that I can let it go? And if not, ask to be shown. Okay, so if I haven't gotten the message tonight in the meditation, what is the message of this fear so that I can finally release it? And a lot of times what's really cool is when you do release it, you're not just releasing it for yourself in this moment, you're releasing it for your lineage. And whenever we do lineage work, we heal 7 generations back but we also heal 7 generations ahead. And so I always want you to think, when you're helping the ancestors, I don't want you to just think of your grandparents and your great-grandparents and all the way back. I want you to think about all the generations forward who are also counting on you, right? Because all generations are on the other side, except you, right? And so imagine, it's not just the ones backward, it's the ones forward too who are going, thank you for doing it. Thank you for being brave enough to finally clear out our shit. You know, you're like the ancestral roto-rooter, right? You're the ancestral pipe cleaner. Sorry. It's very janitorial, right? You know, but this may be the work that you were called into this lifetime to do. And what noble work it is, right? You could be the one that's going to finally, because that plumbing's been weird for a long time, you could be the one that's finally going to clear it. And wouldn't that be a beautiful legacy for you, right? Do you ever think about it that way? What a cool thing to think about at this new moon. Like, this could be part of your intention architecture for tonight, is sort of imagining what you could create, not just in the here and now for your lifetime, but what you could create for your lineage through the work that you're doing. It's pretty cool. Okay, other archetypes to think about tonight. So in our meditation, you can yield to a grandfather, you can yield to a brother, you can yield to a partner, you can yield to a best friend. Any divine masculine presence in your life is who I want you to connect with. And it could be a grandfather or a brother in spirit too, but any divine masculine presence in your life that has made you feel safe and secure in that way. And if you have not had that experience in this lifetime, I want you to yield to spirit guides who can present that energy for you. You know, like, for example, I didn't really have a grandfather presence growing up. I really didn't get a chance to know either of my grandfathers. I had great, fantastic grandmothers, but grandfathers were not there. They were in spirit. And so I always imagined what a grandfather would feel like. And then I have had the divine pleasure of watching my dad with my kids. And he's a fantastic grandfather. And so now I know what a good grandfather looks like in the flesh, you know? And so I might use that as a reference point tonight. In other words, I didn't have it, but I have seen it. And so I can imagine what that grandfatherly love looks like because I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay. Isn't it beautiful? People don't have to parent you to bless you. They don't have to grandparent you to bless you. They can do it to someone else, and you can be blessed by the experience of witnessing it. I don't know. I find a lot of comfort and a lot of beauty in that idea. Okay, so let us begin. I'm going to open the circle with my main wand, just because I always do as protocol. And then I'm also going to open the circle with the wand that you received in your kit. So you're welcome to do that with me as well. And then leave it on your altar. This can be your permanent wand opening or circle opening wand. And we just dedicated it tonight under this new moon. So cheers to you for having a beautiful tool that you can use going forward. Okay, so I'm going to open our circle. I want to invite you to roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And get into a good receptive position for energy work. For me, that's palms up, facing the sky. You can put them on your knees if that's comfortable, or hold them in the air. But I want you to imagine that out of your left hand extends a beautiful beam of light, about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. And I want you to give that beam of light a texture or a temperature or both. Really allow it to crystallize in your hand. Your fingers should get nice and tingly as you're imagining that. It just shows you the energy is so real. And I want you to imagine that beam of light extending out of your left hand, wrapping itself clockwise around the room that you're in, and indeed around the world, as all of our community gathers at different points in time to watch this sacred ritual with me. And that energy will wind its way back around and find its way into your right hand. And when it does, just allow yourself to receive that energy. Again, giving it texture and temperature, feeling your fingers start to tingle a little bit. My palm went really hot all of a sudden. And then let that energy, let that beam of light enter you. Give it permission to move through your arm, over your shoulder, through your spinal column, bathing your chakras in all of that beautiful divine white light, sending it down into the center of the earth, up toward the sky. And you can receive that light of this beautiful circle as love, as healing, as grace. Just be open to receiving whatever energy is coming through for your highest good. And Guardians of the East, we call upon you to be present with us in our new moon ceremony space tonight. I'm so excited to welcome this new cycle. We ask for new perspectives tonight on protection and safety and basic needs under this Pisces new moon. Help us to feel more deeply safe in our lives, connected to each other as energy flows. We welcome you into the circle. Guardians of the South, fire element, energies of transformation, transmutation, rebirth, and regeneration. We welcome you into the circle this evening, and we ask that through this ceremony of protection and connection to grandfather energy, that you help us to transform our relationship to fear. Help us to release fears that aren't serving us anymore. Help us to let go. Help us to surrender more deeply in our lives in all ways. We welcome you. And Guardians of the West, we open ourselves to a new pathway for healing tonight, to healing fears and anxieties, feeling more deeply held and protected, nurtured and nourished. We welcome you into the circle this evening. And Guardians of the North, we welcome wisdom tonight. We welcome the elders, the ancestors, ascended masters, and all beings of light who wish to be here in our presence, connecting with us in service of the highest good of the collective. We welcome you into the circle. We also welcome the guardians of the upper world, middle world, and lower realm. All guardians of the angelic gateways, the here now, the present space and present time, as well as the guardians of the ley lines and vortex points, crystalline kingdom. All are welcome here. And we give thanks to the guardians of the 7 sacred gateways for being in our presence this evening, bringing their energies to our ceremony. And together we say, Amen Aho, and so it is. So good. Okay, so I'm going to light my beautiful candle, giving thanks to that element of fire. Fire is a really good element when you're working with the root chakra. Fire, and all the lower chakras, I would say, but mostly the root chakra, fire is a really good element for transforming, because so much of what needs to happen in root chakra healing is really a reorientation to your experience of the here and now, of being on this planet, of being in your body, of being grounded, of feeling safe and connected, of understanding where you are home, what home looks like, what it means for you. And so the element of fire is really powerful for calling in, and for, you can call in the element of fire and the fire guardians to come through and to transform circumstances in your life, emotions that you're having. And you don't even have to light a candle to do that, but certainly lighting the candle is a beautiful representation. And then anointing with our Guardian of the Night perfume, a touch at our wrist for what we do, a little bit at our third eye for what we know, touch at our ankles for where we go, guarding our footsteps. That's another beautiful way to think about that anointing, right? It's like the guarding of the vision, the wisdom, the guarding of actions, and the guarding of your footsteps and the places that you go. That'd be a fun one for you to do just every day as you're heading out into the world and beginning your journey. So beautiful. I'm enjoying that so much. I really hope you have too. Okay. And then holding your 2 crystals, you can hold on to these during your meditation. I would really encourage you to work especially closely with the golden labradorite. And it might sound funny, but after this ritual for the next lunar cycle, I would love for you to either carry it in your pocket or stick it in your bra. This is a good one to keep with you. It's going to be a constant reminder. It's going to, think of this as your battery. It's like a little bitty battery. You probably already feel it already, right? It's like a little bit of just a little zing. It's a charge. And so anytime you're feeling low or discouraged in particular, this is an encouragement stone. So if you need to be reminded of why you're doing something, or you're just feeling like, it's taking forever, Get your little golden labradorite and plug in. Put it in your pocket or stick it in your bra. Closer you can get it to your body, the better, because you want to have skin contact with your crystals. Just roll your shoulders back, get comfortable, come back into that receptive position. And so I want you to imagine yourself seated in a room that's comfortable to you. Could be your living room, could be your dining room, could be your bedroom, someplace where you feel genuinely safe and comfortable. Comfortable just to be. You're not having to put on a show for anybody. It's just exactly where you want to be at this time. It feels safe and warm and cozy to you. And I want you to imagine that seated next to you is that presence, is that divine masculine archetype in your life, or one that you can imagine. And I want you to imagine that being, that presence, taking the seat next to you or coming and sitting on the floor or the bed next to you. And as they do, I want you to allow yourself to connect energetically there. Link into that man, that male presence, that grandfather, best friend, partner, brother, confidant, great-grandfather. You could also ask who wants to come and show up for you in that capacity. And it's okay if it's a spirit guide as well, though I think it's good for you to have a connection to that archetype in the material world if you can. Really think about who that is for you, who represents that energy for you, even if they're not doing it for you in this lifetime. And I want you to imagine getting as close as you can to that energy field. I call this energy streaming. It's basically aligning your energy with that other energy so you can feel the vibration, because vibrations and frequencies, they calibrate each other. And so you're aligning, you're getting as close as you can to connect those two energy streams, really feeling that connection right now. If it helps, you can imagine leaning on his shoulder, just or putting your arm around him, or feeling him put his arm. It might be more important for him to put his arm around you. This is about you being held and nurtured and loved. And so whatever that looks like to you, maybe it's holding your hand. And give permission for that connection right now. Just say it's okay, because some of you are averse to touch, right? And so it's like, say it's okay to put your arm around me. It's okay to, or ask, is it okay for me to lean on your shoulder? Just a little. Is it okay for me to hold your hand? Would you hold my hand? And now I want you to communicate with that presence. I want you to trust that this is a guardian of the night for you. And I want you to, if you're comfortable, share something that you've been afraid of or worried about, something that has been on your spirit. Give it over to him. And really sense that he's there wanting to hear this from you, like wanting to take this from you. Because it's too much of a burden for you to carry alone, and he's there to remind you that you are safe and you are protected and you're secure and your needs are met. And again, this is just a loving presence to provide you with that grandfatherly, that wolf medicine that reminds you that you are safe, you are protected. Ultimately, what you're doing in this meditation is reminding yourself. But it's helpful to work through the archetypes and to allow yourself to surrender into, especially as a woman. If you're watching this as a woman or someone whose divine feminine is highly active, this is a really healing exercise to connect in with the masculine. And then to also remind yourself that that is part of you. What you're tapping into right now, you also hold. You have that capacity to be the wolf or to be the grandfather or the brother, or however you see that divine, strong, masculine presence. And so we're externalizing it tonight, but recognize that this is also a presence that you hold within. And so as you connect and you just enjoy this fellowship, this kinship, this trust, you feel so good. There's nothing here, nothing's expected of you. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to be good enough. You don't have to change something to receive this. This is just available to you right now. This is just an energy stream that wants to wrap its arms around you, hold you, protect you, comfort you with no strings attached. It's just pure essence of pure divine masculine love. And so I want you to imagine right now, especially if you are a fearful person or if you have anxiety, I want you to imagine in those moments when you experience it, in the middle of the night, if you have panic attacks for any reason, can you imagine giving yourself this tool? Telling yourself, I can lean in. I don't have to hold all this by myself. And I am safe, and I am secure, and I am protected, and I am held. What would it mean for you energetically to find this as a place to come, as a place to return, as a place to burrow into, to relieve yourself of some of the pressure that you might be feeling, not only to do all the things in your life and to be all the things, but then also to safeguard all the things and protect all the things and meet all the needs of all the people for all the things. A lot of you are carrying too much, and so at this new moon, like, let's set it down. Let's agree not to carry things that don't belong to us. This is a really beautiful time for you to quietly set your own intention now. What is your intention for this new moon in Pisces? What do you want to experience over the next 30 days, especially in the realm of protection and guardianship and safety? And what are the needs that you would like to have met in this next cycle? What would that look like for you? And you can say it out loud. It's really good to use strong declarative language when you're setting your intentions. You know, I desire, I experience, I welcome, I claim, and then whatever it is that you are co-creating in this moment. You're co-creating something really good right now. I hope you can feel it. You are co-creating peace and comfort and stability and security and connection in a really, really, really powerful way right now. So enjoy this part of the process too. Like, enjoy what this feels like. Cue siren. Speaking of safety and connection. You're meant to feel this way. And I think I've told you this before, but a lot of us had root chakra disruptions in early life, meaning blessings to the siren. There's about 4 of them there. Sorry about that. But a lot of you had disruptions to the root chakra, and that means trauma before the age of 5. Because after the age of 5, your root chakra is pretty established. You know whether you are safe or not, you know whether you are protected or not, and you know whether or not you have a home. So that all happens by the age of 5. So trauma before the age of 5 disrupts the root chakra. And so tonight will be arguably a little more difficult for you if that's the case, but perhaps even more important for you if that's the case, because a lot of the fears, especially the illogical fears, you know, the fears that you're holding on to that even you know are kind of like not rational, a lot of those fears stem from early childhood trauma and the development of the root chakra. And so anyway, just sometimes it's really good to ask yourself, to dialogue with fear and say, are you mine? And then really be honest with yourself and say, that's not mine. I've got this weird fear, but it's not mine. Versus the things that maybe are yours to hold for a moment, to learn from, to receive, to understand, to negotiate, you know. But some fears you're holding are not yours, and it's important to recognize that they could be rooted literally and figuratively in those moments. And so one more moment just to set and seal your intention for the next lunar cycle. Amen, aho, and so it is. Intentions are set and sealed. You take your stones. If you've been holding your stones, perfect. If not, I like to use my breath to set and seal my intention across my stones. And I ask that this Picasso jasper anchor the space, hold the space for my transformation, and that this golden labradorite anchors and holds the space for my empowerment. And what I'm going to do now is put it in. And that needs to be right with you or in your pocket, wherever you need it to be. But it would be good if you could carry it with you every day for the next cycle. After that, you can switch it out or do something different, or if you stop feeling like it's needed. But I'll tell you something, like I said, it's a little battery pack. So why not carry that with you around and let that, be a source of strength as you're going through your day? I think it's a good idea. And so we're going to go ahead and extinguish our candle. Watch the flow of the smoke. When your smoke goes north, directly north, in other words, not to any of the directions, but just sort of directly above, that just is a good signal that the energy is clear and there's nothing sort of residual. If it goes into any of the directions directly, so if it does go north, directional north, that means that wisdom has transpired or you've downloaded wisdom. There's wisdom is the focus. If you see it mostly heading west, that's a sign to you about emotional purification, transformation of some kind. If you see it going south, that could be different kinds of transformation, regeneration, transmutation, shifting, also a signal to become more passionate, to kindle more of your passion around whatever the healing was. And then the east, that's a sign that there's a pathway, a passageway, some energy has been cleared or moved through. So I like to watch the direction and just see where my smoke goes. And so I opened the circle twice, so I'm going to close the circle twice. And I thank the guardians of the 7 sacred gateways for attending us in our ceremony today. Beautiful new moon ceremony that I hope you enjoyed, welcoming in, ushering in new beginnings, a new orientation to your root chakra tonight with wolf medicine and grandfather medicine. And so, guardians of the lower, middle, and upper worlds, we thank you for your presence this evening, for connecting us into the planet's sacred vortex places and crystalline kingdom, anchoring our magic, helping our intentions to manifest in the present time, in the middle world, and then certainly the guardians of the upper world for our access to angelic wisdom, Akashic insight tonight as we connect with that presence, that divine masculine source of support. And we release you with gratitude from the circle. Guardians of the North, grandfather spirit, tree people, ascended masters, we're so thankful for your presence, for your strength tonight, for connecting us in. I always think of grandfather medicine as being in the north, and so we're thankful that we reconnected with that archetype this evening, maybe rediscovering our own grandfather this evening or imagining a grandfatherly presence for those of us who do not have one or did not have one growing up. So we're thankful for all of that energy and medicine. We release you with gratitude from the ceremony space. And Guardians of the West, we're thankful for the energies, the emotions that moved through this evening as we confronted fears and anxieties that need to be released. Surrendering and trusting that we're always guided and held in these beautiful ways that we just need to notice, pay attention. We release you from the ceremony space. And Guardians of the Southern Gateway, we give thanks for transformation occurring tonight as a result of this work, our ability to alchemize fear and transform it into a higher emotion, into love, into trust. We release you from the ceremony space. And then Guardians of the East, we're thankful for this new beginning, this new cycle, this new opportunity, this new season ahead in the coming weeks and spring here in the north. We're thankful for the return of life, the return of dawn, the return of your season. We give thanks and we release you as well from the ceremony space. And with that, our beautiful new moon ceremony is complete for this month. I wish you so many blessings. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful evening. If another intention comes to you, you can add it right into the mix. Just speak it out loud. This is your 24-hour window to write your wish list to your guides. I wish you so many blessings in the lunar cycle ahead. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bright blessings, everybody.